I need to go back to 1987. I've been working at Deloitte by that stage for about 18 months and was getting extremely frustrated, even angry at what I'd see, what I was witnessing. And then one day the phone went and there's a few headhunters saying, look, you're an economist and the island is looking for a new head of its government economic services. Would you be interested in applying for that job? And he, kind of on the spur of the moment, I said, well, yeah, of course I do. What's the salary? Blah, blah, blah. So I switched from the private sector to working in the government, the very heart of the government, heading the government economic services for over a decade. And so I now work from the inside of a government and had interactions with the UK Treasury, Bank of England, International Monetary Fund, OECD. So I was able to talk to all of these global agencies about their position on tax havens.
So I just have to stop you for a second and show everybody you have a wonderful colleague named Nicholas Shaxson, who's written several books that you play a major part in. And one is Treasure Islands. It was published in 2011. And he describes some of your very detailed policy interactions with different people related to the local economy, the Jersey economy, and these different policies. And that's where the rubber meets the road. And you realize, oh, they do know what's going on here and they're helping it go on.
That is sadly so correct. I quickly realized that a lot of people knew exactly what was going on, particularly in the UK government. And you was not only not prepared to do anything about it, they were actively blocking global attempts. And in subsequent years, I've talked to lots of people in Washington and in Brussels and in the OECD in Paris, and they've all said to me how frustrated they were. I'm using my words carefully here. Frustrated that they were that the fact the UK government was publicly saying, yes, we're going to do things. We're going to tackle this. We're actually within the four walls of negotiations. They were saying, there's nothing we can do about this. We're not prepared to do about this. And they were blocking. I even had a meeting in London with a very senior official from the Federal Reserve who told me that he had for years been blocked by senior government officials in Jersey and in Whitehall, Slough, and told, and this is an untruth, told that the government in Whitehall can't do anything about what happens in Jersey. And that is a flagrant lie, to be honest. Flagrant, because the government in London can intervene tomorrow,
right,
and require, and it is job to require good governance from the islands, the offshore islands, when they choose not to do so. And the reason they choose not to do so is because, frankly, since 1956, UK has been running a current account deficit, trade deficit. Economy is weak. They're desperate to sustain sterling, and then all of these dirty money inflows to the City of London, which are very critical for the banks and the law firms, also have helped to sustain sterling. So that's the background. That's the context within which this is happening.